What really happens when a man begins to fall deeply for a woman who is older than him? There are countless small signs, little actions, and subtle habits, but you want to know the one clue that never lies. It's the way he speaks, the things he says, especially the relaxed words that slip out without him thinking, often reveal the truth more honestly than anything else. This becomes even more noticeable when a younger man starts forming an emotional bond with a woman who has more years, more experience, and more emotional depth. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact 11 types of phrases a man uses when his heart begins drifting toward a woman. Sometimes he starts showing it long before he even realizes what's happening inside him. Because when a man begins to feel something real, something serious, something that shakes him a little, his inner walls soften, his emotional guard falls, and the things he says start exposing everything he's trying to hide. Stay with me until the end, because these aren't the usual romantic lines women expect to hear. They're normally simple, casual, almost disguised, and because of that, many women overlook them and fail to see how meaningful these small comments truly are. But if you pay close attention, these tiny phrases show the real truth that his actions might not yet be strong or brave enough to reveal. And this is where things often get confusing. Many older women who find themselves growing close to younger men start feeling unsure or emotionally torn. Why does this happen? Because the way men show emotional attachment is very different from the way women express theirs. And when there's an age gap, especially when the woman is older, the uncertainty becomes even stronger. You begin doubting your own instincts. You ask yourself, was that compliment genuine? Was he being sweet or just friendly? Am I misunderstanding what he meant? You replay your conversations again and again, trying to decide whether his tone carried a deeper meaning or if you're imagining something that isn't there. Scientific research supports this emotional difference. Studies published in the Journal of Social Psychology show that women usually express love, affection, and emotional openness directly through warm, expressive language. Men, however, often express their feelings indirectly, subtly, and sometimes without even realizing it. They do this especially when they're unsure if the woman will welcome their feelings or take them seriously. Most men don't say what they truly feel out loud. Instead, they reveal themselves through patterns, small tone shifts, quiet comments, and half-conscious hints. Often, they aren't even aware they're doing it. This is why older women in these situations feel like they're walking through a dark room, trying to figure out what's real. You might tell yourself, he probably says that to everyone, or maybe he's just polite, or even, maybe I'm making something out of nothing. But here's a truth you really need to hear. When a younger man is genuinely falling for an older woman, it becomes almost impossible for him to hide it completely. His subconscious gives him away. His voice gives him away. His everyday words turn into little windows into his emotions. That's why understanding these verbal clues is so important. Once you learn what to listen for, you stop doubting yourself. You stop wasting time overthinking every small detail. You stop wondering whether he is truly interested or simply enjoying the attention. Recognizing these subtle signs can help you avoid walking away from a man who was actually falling for you, or prevent you from holding on to something that was never going to turn into anything real. There's another key detail. A 2019 study by elite singles found that more than 60% of men admitted that at some point in their life, they developed strong emotional feelings for an older woman. Think about that for a moment. These men didn't just experience a small crush, they felt real emotional pull. But here's the twist. Most of them never said a word about it. They kept it hidden. When asked why, many of them shared similar reasons. They feared being rejected rejected. They worried they wouldn't be taken seriously. They were scared she would think they were too young or not enough. Social pressure, personal insecurity, and fear of judgment all played a role. So instead of confessing how they felt, they allowed their emotions to come out in tiny, quiet ways. Small comments, meaningful moments, and unguarded words that escaped when they let their guard down. And this is exactly where your awareness becomes powerful. If you understand these moments, if you listen to the things he says when he's not overthinking, you will know precisely what is happening inside him. Men try to hide their emotions, but eventually their words leak the truth. Now let's talk about what these phrases actually sound like when a younger man is falling for an older woman. These are not dramatic lines like, "I love you," or "I can't stop thinking about you." No, these are softer, simpler, more honest, because they appear when he's not trying to impress you. They show up in natural moments when he's just being himself. One of the biggest phrases is, "I feel safe with you." Younger men don't use the word safe lightly. For a man to say he feels safe around a woman, especially an older woman, it carries deep emotional meaning. It means he doesn't worry about judgment. He doesn't feel pressure to act tough or pretend to be someone he's not. You're not just someone he likes. You're someone who settles his heart, someone who sees him clearly, someone who accepts him fully. This is rare. In a world where men are told to never show weakness, never show fear, never show emotion, feeling emotionally safe is a powerful experience. So if he says that being around you feels peaceful, calming, or grounding, that is his nervous system responding to your presence. It's his inner world relaxing. And even though he might not say, "I'm falling for you," this is exactly what he's communicating in his own way. He trusts you. He respects your maturity. He feels something sacred in the energy you bring into his life. And in that emotional comfort, deeper feelings begin to grow without him even trying. Other phrases follow naturally. He may say, "You really get me," or "I can talk to you about anything." He might say, "I don't have to act around you," or "You're not like anyone else." He could tell you, "Talking to you always makes me feel better," or "I love the way you think." These are not empty words. They are emotional confessions hiding inside normal sentences. These words show up in relaxed moments, when he feels comfortable, when he's not trying to impress, when his guard slips. And that's exactly when his true feelings appear, because a man's most honest emotions come out when he's not trying to control what he says. There's something else many women don't notice. When a younger man begins forming a real emotional bond with an older woman, he often surprises himself. He didn't expect to feel that way. He may tell himself it's just physical attraction or just fun, but then something changes. He catches himself thinking about you at random times. He misses your voice. He looks for your opinion. He wants your presence. Your laugh stays in his mind. Your advice feels grounding. Your energy stays with him longer than he planned. And slowly, the little spark he felt at the beginning turns into something heavier and warmer, something that sits deep in his chest. A soft longing, a gentle attachment, and since he doesn't know how to describe this, the truth slips out through small admissions. He might say, "I've never told anyone that before," or "I don't know why I'm telling you this." These phrases show he's opening emotional doors he normally keeps shut. He may start sharing childhood memories, fears he's never spoken about, dreams he hasn't said out loud to anyone. This doesn't happen randomly. It happens because your presence feels safe. Your steadiness creates space. Your maturity invites honesty in him. Your calmness does not push him, judge him, or pressure him. And men remember that more than you think. It builds a connection that stays with them long after the moment has passed. So the next time he says something that feels deeper than the actual words, pay attention. when his voice softens, when he shares something personal, when his compliments focus on who you are instead of only how you look. Those are the moments when his true emotions slip through. You do not need him to announce love like a dramatic movie scene. You only need to listen when he speaks without thinking too hard, because that is when honesty shows itself. And when a younger man begins to fall for an older woman, he may not say it loudly, but if you listen closely, you'll hear it in the quiet remarks, in the small slips of honesty, in the gentle phrases he never meant to reveal. Older women, as mentioned in research highlighted in Psychology Today, naturally offer a type of emotional safety that many younger partners find difficult to create. Their life experience, emotional steadiness, and calm presence give a kind of comfort that men find deeply grounding. If he says something that hints at this, even if he laughs it away, it's almost never a joke. It usually means his heart is already leaning toward you in ways he hasn't fully accepted yet. So when a man says, "You understand me like no one else," it's not just charming talk, it's recognition. It's a sign that your connection has moved from surface level into something real, something emotional. It means you see him in a way he isn't used to being seen. And that kind of sentence carries a weight far bigger than the words. It reveals that you are no longer just a small part of his life. You have slowly become a steady emotional center for him. And this matters because emotional closeness lasts much longer than physical attraction ever can. Physical spark might start interest, but emotional connection is what keeps a relationship alive. When he says, "You get me," it shows you have become a mirror that reflects his inner world without judgment. That is rare. That is powerful. Then comes the phrase, "I can't imagine my life without you now." It may sound like something poetic, but notice the word now. That one small word shows a shift has already taken place. Your presence has quietly become part of his everyday routine. Without making a big deal out of it, you are no longer a backup plan or a passing thought. You have blended into his daily rhythm. From morning messages to late-night conversations, or simply the comfort of knowing you exist in his world, you have become part of his inner life. Relationship expert Dr. Jen Mann explains that when someone naturally includes another person in their future, it shows a deep emotional bond. So when he says something like this, it's more than romance. It is a sign he is placing you into his mental picture of tomorrow, even if he hasn't consciously realized it. Another telling sign is when he says, "You make me want to improve myself." Do not ignore this. Men rarely change because someone forces them. They grow when they feel safe, respected, and inspired. Older women often carry this kind of energy. They challenge in gentle ways, support without smothering, and inspire without trying to control. If a man feels motivated to grow simply because of who you are, it shows the emotional impact you have on him. A study from the University of Wisconsin found that men in relationships with older women reported higher motivation for personal growth than those dating younger women. When he says this, he is recognizing not only your presence, but the way he becomes better simply because you exist in his life. Then there is the moment he says, "I told my mum about you." At first, it can sound casual, but it rarely is. Men do not just talk about anyone to their families. If he mentions you to his mother or siblings, it means you are important. You've moved from being part of his private world to part of the people he values most. You have become someone he wants his inner circle to know and eventually accept. This does not always mean a formal meeting right away, but it definitely signals meaning. A 2020match.com report showed that more than 76% of men felt a stronger emotional bond with women they introduced to their families. His mention of you is symbolic. It means he is weaving you into the emotional structure of his life. Next comes the vulnerable phrase, "You're the only person I can talk to about this." When a man shares his fears, failures, or insecurities, he is giving you something delicate, his emotional truth. This is not given away easily. Many men are taught to stay quiet about their struggles, so when he opens up, it is not weakness, it is trust. In that moment, you are not just someone he talks to, you become his emotional safe space. This openness shows emotional exclusivity. It forms a bond deeper than anything physical. It means you are not just an option. You are the person he reaches for when life feels heavy. Another phrase to watch for is, "I don't care what people think." If he says this about your relationship, especially when there is an age difference or anything society may question, it says a lot. It means he values the bond more than public opinion. Many men grow up caring about how things look, but when he puts your connection above that, it shows strength. It shows authenticity. A 2021 eHarmony study found that couples with noticeable age gaps who were emotionally connected were more resilient to gossip or judgment. So when he dismisses outside opinions, he is really saying you are worth standing by, publicly and privately. One of the most honest things a man can say is, "I've never felt like this before." It may sound like something from a movie, but when it is genuine, it reveals your impact. You have awakened feelings he did not expect, emotions that challenge his usual patterns. Often, older women have a peaceful, magnetic presence that feels grounding, intimate, and deeply feminine, qualities many men rarely experience. When he says this, it means you have reached a part of his heart he assumed was closed. These statements may sound simple or even cliché, but listen closely. Men often express their deepest emotions in indirect ways. When they finally speak from the heart, the meaning runs deep. If he says these things, even jokingly or softly, it shows something meaningful is unfolding. You are not just someone he enjoys spending time with, you are becoming his emotional anchor, and that type of bond does not break easily. He may not always say things clearly or even understand his own emotions, but when he feels safe, respected, and genuinely understood, he opens up in ways that surprise even him. A mature, emotionally grounded woman creates the environment for that openness, not through pressure, but through presence. She listens without judging, supports without controlling, and stays solid in her own worth. So if he says things like this, do not dismiss them. They are clues. They show he is feeling deeply, falling slowly, and connecting in a way most men reserve for one woman. The woman who does not just make his heart race, but makes his soul feel seen. Yes, it might sound like a familiar line, but when he truly means it, it carries real weight. Most men are not naturally expressive, especially when they care deeply. When he chooses to express these things, it means something real is happening underneath the surface. They often show their feelings through what they do more than what they say. So when a man actually speaks from his heart, it's rarely something casual. He truly feels something deep, and he's signaling that this bond isn't temporary or short-lived. It's real and meaningful. When he says, "I wish we had met earlier," it's not about age, missed chances, or lost youth. It's about time itself. He feels like a part of his timeline was missing until you arrived. That simple sentence holds quiet longing, showing that your presence now feels important to him. His heart is involved and steady. Then there's the phrase, "I can be myself around you." These are simple words, but incredibly strong. He's saying he doesn't need to pretend, he doesn't feel judged, and he can let go of the mask he's been taught to wear. For many men raised to hide their vulnerability, this level of comfort is rare. If he says this to you, it shows trust and emotional closeness. He feels accepted and understood, and that is priceless. Clinical psychologist Dr. John Gottman's research highlights that emotional honesty and being able to show your true self predicts long-term relationship satisfaction. So when he feels safe enough to be his full self with you, it is like gold for the relationship. Finally, the most powerful phrase of all, "You have changed me." This goes far beyond little habits or surface-level adjustments. It reflects real inner change. When a man says this to a woman, especially one who is grounded, mature, and wise, it's a sign of deep emotional growth. He isn't just noticing how you speak, move, or behave. He's recognizing that your presence is reshaping how he thinks, feels, and experiences life. It's about seeing the world differently, becoming softer yet stronger, more open, more compassionate, more aware. That level of influence is huge. Every sentence, from the gentle ones to the deeply emotional ones, shows a man's emotional involvement. It proves that your presence isn't temporary. It's becoming a foundation in his life. A genuine emotional connection with an older, centered, self-aware woman can awaken parts of him he never explored. You are not just a partner, you become a source of comfort, inspiration, trust, and emotional expansion. When he expresses these things, even in small moments, he's telling you that you are not replaceable. You matter far more than a quick spark or momentary attraction. He is attaching his heart to you in a way that is rare, sincere, and life-shaping. When a man tells you that you've changed him, he's actually expressing something far deeper than a simple compliment. What he means is that something inside him has shifted in a way he didn't expect. It isn't a short rush of attraction or a sudden wave of desire that fades quickly. It's something stronger, something that reaches into the deeper parts of who he is. It's growth, it's inner movement, it's emotional evolution. And this isn't the type of change that disappears after a few days or gets erased by a small argument or shifting moods. It stays, it settles inside him and becomes part of him. Suddenly, he realizes that the world looks slightly different. Colors feel a little brighter, conversations seem more meaningful, and moments he never paid attention to before now feel special. He sees himself with more clarity, like someone cleaned a mirror he didn't even notice was dirty. He loves in a fuller way. He listens with more focus. He shows up in ways he never did before. And this kind of change doesn't fade away. It stays in his thoughts and in his heart long after the moment passes. Most people do not understand this level of emotional impact because it is not something that happens often. It's not casual and definitely not common. It's rare. And when a man feels something rare, something that moves him deeply, he doesn't forget it. Maybe not after a month, maybe not after a year, but he remembers it for a very long time, sometimes for life. There are people we forget, and moments we forget. But then there are feelings that leave a mark on us, feelings that stay forever. That is the kind of effect you've had on him. It wasn't just about falling in love. It wasn't only about romance or attraction or the way he felt the first time he saw you. It was about how you encouraged him to grow, how you helped him see sides of himself he once ignored, how you inspired him, challenged him, softened him, and strengthened him all at once. And this kind of transformation begins quietly, slowly, and steadily. And in his case, it began with you. Now let's return to the heart of all this by going over the 11 powerful phrases once more. These phrases reveal far more about a man's true emotions than any big dramatic confession. Each one shows a piece of his inner world. Each one opens a small window into what he feels but may not say directly. First, I feel safe with you. Second, you understand me in a way no one else does. Third, I can't imagine my life without you now. Fourth, you make me want to become better. Fifth, I talk about you with my mum. Sixth, you're the only person I can tell this to. Seventh, I honestly don't care what others think. Eighth, I have never felt these emotions before. Ninth, I wish we had met sooner. 10th, I can be my real self with you. 11th, you have transformed me. Each of these lines has its own emotional weight. They are not rehearsed lines or charming expressions. They are truths spoken from the heart. They contain softness, fear, honesty, and longing all at once. These words carry a quiet type of intimacy that reveals exactly where he stands, even when he doesn't explain everything clearly. What makes these words powerful is not just the words themselves, but what they represent. They show that the bond between you and him has grown from something light or casual into something deeper, steadier, and more meaningful. These phrases are proof of how your presence shapes his life in ways that change him. Because when a man says he feels safe with you, he's really saying he can finally take off the emotional armor he has worn for years. And when he says you changed him, he's telling you that your presence didn't just enter his life, it shaped his path. You left an imprint he cannot forget. Many people miss this part. They think men express emotions the same way women do, but most men don't. They don't always send long messages. They don't always talk openly about their feelings. They don't always explain what is happening inside them. But when they say these specific phrases, these deeply revealing lines, it is their way of expressing something huge. It is their way of showing that you matter in ways they may not know how to describe. And when men speak words like these, they are never saying them lightly. They say them because their heart is invested. That's why if you've heard even one of these lines from a man, don't dismiss it. Don't treat it as just another sweet moment. Don't assume he's just being polite or charming. Pay attention. His truth is often hidden inside those small sentences. His emotional investment appears not through grand gestures, but through these gentle signs of how he really feels. Most of the time, these words slip out when he's relaxed, when he's not overthinking, when he feels safe, when he's simply being himself. That is when they come out naturally, and that is when they mean the most. Because love doesn't always show up with big announcements or fireworks. Sometimes it shows up in quiet, unexpected moments when he shares a small part of his heart without even noticing. And now, if anything in this message feels familiar to you, if you've heard one of these phrases during a calm moment or even in the middle of an ordinary day, I'd love to know which one it was. Maybe he said you changed him. Maybe he told you he wished you had met sooner. Maybe it was something more subtle, like telling you that you're the only person he can talk to about something real. Whatever it was, your experience matters. Share it. Tell me which words stayed with you. If this helped you understand how men show emotional connection, especially toward a woman with depth, kindness, and maturity, then go ahead and like this video. Subscribe if you want more real and honest conversations about love, emotions, and human behavior. Thank you for being here. You deserve a love that isn't just passionate but also purposeful, not just exciting but steady, not just loud but meaningful. So until next time, take care of yourself. Stay alert, stay open-hearted, and always remember that love may not follow a simple or predictable path, but it always leaves small signs behind, signs that reveal how someone truly feels. You only need to pay close attention, listen deeply, and trust what those quiet moments are trying to tell you.